all right, I'm not going to be like David Goggins and say, you got to go to the gym 7 days a week, running ultra marathons and doing all this crazy shit. I'm not going to be the guy to tell you that, right? Don't get me wrong. I look like David Goggins is the GOAT. I look up to that guy. He's GOAted. Don't get me wrong. But I think people get like the false perception. They think that they have to be they think starting their fitness journey is this huge ordeal where they think that they need to work out 7 days a week, 5 times a day. Like that's not what it's about. Like I've been on consultations with so many guys who think that they'll say things like, oh, I don't really think I can start my fitness journey right now because it takes too much time. Like, I don't know, bro, like you gotta understand, like if you can dedicate at least 3 hours of your week to your fitness, you will get jacked in 6 months. It does not take that much, right? Like you are sacrificing, yes, but I feel like people look at guys like David Goggins and they think like they look at people on Instagram, they look at the highlight reels and they think that's what you have to be doing 24/7. No. Like I said in my last video, you don't have to make the gym your entire life, right? I'm just saying you can incorporate your fitness journey into your life, make it a part of your life, right? It's about I can't even talk today. It's about incorporating self-improvement, like a balanced approach to self-improvement, right? And I'm going to go into a little story on my experience with this. But before I do that, I just want to say, make sure you book a one-on-one coaching call. If you're looking to get in shape and you want to start making gains, book the one-on-one consultation link and we'll see if it makes sense to work together so that you can reach your fitness goals, right? Little shameless plug for those of you guys that need it. By the way, hit that like button so it boosts out to the algorithm, and make sure you subscribe if you haven't yet. If you haven't subscribed yet and you've been watching me for a minute, that's kind of crazy. But back to scheduled programming. Yeah, like I think people literally take this shit way too serious and they think that, you gotta be like a David Goggins type of guy to get in great shape, but that's not the case, right? Like I said, I was gonna go into a little story, a little bit after high school, back when I was, just graduated high school, right? I started my fitness journey when I was about 18, 19 years old, right? I took a gap year, out of high school. Right. And I had a lot of time on my hands because I had literally nothing going for me at the time. I was graduated, didn't go to university. I took a gap year. I didn't have a job at the time. Right. I just had nothing going on. Right. So I had a lot of free time. So you know what I mean? So I was working out most of the time, working out 7 days a week, probably work out twice a day just because I was bored. I literally had nothing else better to do but to just be in the gym because at that point, you could say I had no life but the gym. Like I low-key became a gym cell, bro. I literally was a gym cell at that point. Like I literally did nothing but just go to the gym twice a day. My day consisted of, I would go apply for jobs, right? Get rejected by 30 employers and then go work out, right? Go home and sleep, get up, and then I'll go hoop and then work out again. Like that was literally my life back in 2019. Right? Early 2019. And, years later, like I said before, you learn lessons in the gym. You start to learn progressive overload. You progressive overload in other areas of your life. You start succeeding. You recreate yourself, right? Years later, I get a job. I get into university. I start making content. I start, start online coaching. You start stacking up these badges, you start getting more qualified, you start leveling up, right? With time that happens, it's natural, you level up, right? And what I started to notice with this whole phase of me leveling up is that I noticed, oh, wow, like, I used to always shit on people and say, oh, like, I always used to shit on people who said they don't have time for the gym, but then I started finding myself making those same excuses because life got busier, right? I started, like I said before, I was doing school, work, content, business, all this different type of stuff, right? And I started getting a lot more busy and I started to realize, oh shit, like, I don't have time for this shit anymore, right? But then I had to hold myself accountable because even though I had to start to hold myself accountable because I had to realize that yes, saying you don't have time for the gym is bullshit. My opinion on that is never going to change, right? But although you don't have to spend every single day in the gym, right? You can literally dedicate 3 to 4 times a week in the gym, which is what? 3 to 4 hours that you can dedicate throughout the week to get your fitness right. right? And the way and last semester especially was a time where I was like really busy. It was like really hectic. And I started experimenting. A mentor of mine told me to try out Google Calendar. So, right? So I downloaded the Google Calendar. Google Calendar, it's on your phone. It's literally a calendar through Google where you can set up your day and basically you set up a calendar on your phone for tasks that you need to do throughout the day. And I started doing that and it helped me hold myself accountable so that I could make time for my schoolwork and make time for the gym, right? So the point with the story, as I'm trying to tell you, is that if me, a busy guy who works a part-time job, does school, makes content, start an online business, if I have time for the gym, what the hell is your excuse, right? And the other point I'm trying to make is that you don't have to go to the gym every day, 7 days a week, right? You could literally just go dedicate 3 to 4 hours a week to your diet and nutrition and working out, right? You work out Monday, Wednesday, and a Thursday, or Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, or Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I don't give a shit what you decide, or Monday, Wednesday, or maybe you want to do a 4-day split, whatever the case may be, right? You find a split, a 3-day split, 4-day split, whatever the case may be, right? And as long as you progressive overload, right? And you're practicing time under tension and you're eating at a caloric surplus or at a deficit, depending on your goals, and you're getting your protein intake, you will see a transformation in 6 months, right? It's inevitable. And if you're consistently doing this and you make a calendar and you schedule out the times you're going to work out and you work around your busy schedule, you can be in the best shape of your life and you don't need to sacrifice other areas of your life to do so, right? The only areas you may need to sacrifice in your life is just the bullshit that you have in your life. What do I mean by bullshit? I'm talking about things like, watching like Netflix or some shit, or maybe you're smoking weed, you're doing drugs, or like maybe you need to sacrifice, being lazy, sleeping in, or whatever. Maybe you got to rearrange your life. Whatever, everybody's different. Everybody has their own vices. Some may be more extreme than others, right? But you got to figure out what is it for you. What are the things? What are the bad habits that you have in your life right now that you can get rid of to make time for the gym? Right? And you will thank yourself in the future for doing this because you're going to make a lot more progress. You're not going to do those bad habits because those bad habits are holding you back anyways, right? So you might as well get rid of them, right? Like for example, for me, I literally left every group chat I was in because I realized every group chat I was in was bullshit. We were just talking about bullshit and that time could be used to maybe, DM new clients. I could use that time to literally go to the gym, or I could use that time to study, right? I had to cut out I had to cut out, for example, watching, this is something I've done years ago, but I had to cut out watching so much TV, right? You're watching all these episodes of TV when you could be studying, you could be working on your side hustle, all this type of stuff. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying you should become a full on monk mode type, how do I say it? How do I word this? What I'm basically saying is that you gotta find time and place for the things, right? Like some things, for example, completely cut out. Like if you're doing drugs and you're doing things that are obviously bad for you, cut that shit out, right? But if it's stuff like, maybe you're spending too much time watching TV, Netflix, or maybe you're spending too much time, being unproductive with friends, or being spending too much time in group chats and shit and whatnot. You can make a time and place for those things that are not as harmful but unproductive, but cut out all the bad shit, of course. But it's all about prioritizing what's actually important and balancing, your free time and finding a time and place for all this shit, right? It's gonna cause a lot of self, introspectiveness to understand okay, what do I need to focus on throughout the week, and how do I, find a balance and schedule out, okay, free time, work time, and gym time, and trying to find that balance. And, I don't have a clear answer for you because that's something that you got to figure out for yourself. You got to look at your own life and figure out, okay, how can I balance all this shit together, right? And put it into that Google Calendar and organize it. That's what I did. And that's what helped me keep myself accountable, right? And I'm not perfect at this. I'm still working on this. You know what I mean? There's still some weeks where like I might slip up in certain areas of my life, right? But it's the fact that you keep, making these calendars, you keep making these to-do lists, you keep trying at it, you're going to get more done than what you were doing before and waking up winging it, right? But that's all I really had for today. TLDR, you know, make a Google Calendar. It'll organize your life, and you got to cut out the bullshit in your life. You got to cut the fat, metaphorically and excuse me, I'm dying here. Metaphorically and literally. So yeah, make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Send this to someone who really needs to hear it. I know a lot of you guys need to hear it, so send this out. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know what you think and, you know, your fitness journey and how you balance all that stuff out. Remember, book a one-on-one coaching call and we'll literally help you build out a Google Calendar schedule for your life so that you can make time for the gym and reach those fitness goals, right? We will go through time management. We will go through what you need to eat and how you need to train. We will go through everything. Hit me in the link in description and we will figure that out for you, right? I'll be happy to be working with you soon. And remember, there's nothing enlightening about playing small, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. See ya.